welcome to the Serenity Solutions podcast number 36. So I'm doing this tonight in the nice sun shining outside, soaking in the literal last night of summer vacay, even though I've been working every day. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy doing what I do during the school year, but also in the summer. I tend to look for new challenges, new businesses, new ventures, and I definitely did that this summer, so proud of myself for taking on those new challenges and learning more and continuing to grow. And I listened to a podcast by Eddie Milet the last couple of days, and it was about, if you're not, his quote was, and the title of his podcast is, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I love that quote because I definitely go by that motto and it's not in my head all the time, but it definitely is something I stand by and do naturally, I think. I just need to have new things happening and new things to learn. I love to learn. Like I've mentioned in other podcasts, I'd be a lifelong student if I could afford it. But I do love my job that I'm going into tomorrow, as well as the ones that I do on the side in the summer and after school and throughout my breaks, all the things. So today I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that, like growing instead of dying, and also transitions, because we're going into a huge transition. A lot of us have been starting to get ready for that, probably the last month or few weeks, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week, depending on your personality and your expectations of yourself. But I definitely have been preparing myself mentally. That's more so what I do as a school counselor and a registered clinical counselor, preparing myself mentally all the time. I'm researching all the time. I'm gathering information. I assess things. I observe. I do all of those things all the time. And I think that's just my natural personality, which made me very well fit for that career in psychology, my master's in counseling psychology, and it's just naturally what I do, but also comes naturally to me as well. And it can be tough because my brain never stops, and so sleeping can be a concern, and that is something I've been working on. I went off caffeine, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks ago. I can't remember. I haven't counted down the days, but it's definitely helping. I don't have any caffeine. Like, I don't drink coffee, tea. Like, I drink herbal tea still because it doesn't have caffeine. The only source of caffeine I get is chocolate, because I won't stop chocolate. Usually dark chocolate sources or cacao, but cocoa powder, that kind of thing. That's the one source of caffeine that I have. Definitely at certain times of the month for sure. But, chocolate is kind of a daily staple at times, not particularly the last week or so, but it is definitely a staple, and it doesn't have to be like, oh my God, you're having a chocolate bar. It can be like a little bit of cocoa powder in your chia pudding, to get that like craving met, or like with berries, a little bit of chocolate chips or whatever, or dark chocolate because it's filled with antioxidants, which actually makes it quite good for us. And even like when you're following a healthy plan following your healthy hormone plan, your diet plan, your lifestyle, having it in those energy bites or protein balls, they always add cocoa powder to those. So it's not like an evil thing that you can't ever have. But I am going to talk about preparing for transitions And I researched a little bit about this, even though I have my own understanding of it, of course. And understanding your motivations and assessing your readiness for transitions is important. Reflecting on any potential challenges and having that support system in place is a really good idea. Letting your support system, your people, know that you're going to be busy. For me, the next September, October, November, December, 4 months will be crazy. So I need to let people know, I've had summer, I've seen you, that is my time to be able to have that socialization. And then now I'm back to the grind. Or like I can't talk on the phone very long, or won't be able to message as much, can't give as much attention. Social media will definitely get dialed down. When I need to go to bed, that'll definitely get, phone off in the drawer for the night. Lots of different strategies I use to stay within the boundaries that I need to stay healthy during that heavy period, because otherwise I'm not sleeping, getting up at 3 a.m, and without going to bed early, and it's a disaster zone for my nervous system and stress levels. So, so mapping out that transition, which I've been doing in my head, taking steps to gain new experiences to help with your transition, such as networking, maybe volunteering if you do have time, job shadowing if you're starting a different type of job, and cultivating a flexible and positive mindset around things, by embracing the unfamiliar. Journaling your feelings can be a really good thing to do. Practicing self-compassion with yourself helps you navigate any potential ups and downs of changes and transitions. And when you're assessing your readiness, like understanding your why, this is something we talk about in network marketing a lot, is what is your why? Share your why, understand what that is, and reflect on those motivations for the change that you're looking for to stay focused and committed. So if you know what your why is, you're more likely to succeed in the goals that you have. So for example, like my big why is taking care of my fur babies and giving them the best life possible, getting them to live as long as possible, being able to help family members when that's needed, supporting friends as well as supporting everyone else that I do in my daily life, and keeping myself healthy. Like, I can't do all this stuff without supplements, without support from others. I can't do this next 4 months without building up a good immune system. Taking the supplements, taking the probiotics, the prebiotics, the phytobiotics, the mental health support help, the ashwagandha. Like, honestly, without these supplements are so important to me. I know that supplements aren't everything. You gotta eat well, you gotta sleep well, you gotta move your body, you gotta do stress relievers. I always find actually doing this podcast helps me get things out, because it makes sense. I'm talking to the world, if you're listening, helping other people, which is amazing, because when you help others, you also help yourself. There's a hummingbird listening right now in the tree in front of me, by the way. Little tiny little hummingbird just sitting there listening. And now there's some people screaming down the road, which doesn't exactly bring a calming atmosphere. And there's a turkey vulture. There's another hummingbird, more turkey vultures. Okay. So just being mindful and looking around right now is a reminder, like, okay, I've got 2 hummingbirds hanging out now. They're my spirit angels, my guides. But yeah, understanding your why, evaluating potential challenges that might come up, consider your obstacles that you might need to face, and how resilient you are in adapting to those, and reminding yourself of that resilience that you do have. Strengthening that support system. So communicating your intentions with your loved ones and seek their understanding, as I mentioned, can be valuable. So Eddie actually has a podcast talking about this as well. Like, I think it's Eddie. I'm going to be really busy for the next little while. You might need to take it easy on me. I'm going to have to, it might be Danny Morell that talks about this. Just letting your support system know that really can help them understand that you are not like forgetting about them. It's not that you don't love them. It's just like you're in that season. It's like, when accountants have that really busy season of doing everybody's taxes and then they get out of it and they're relieved again. That is like kind of what we do for the next 4 months, I find. As a school counselor, I'm doing tons of paperwork, I'm doing the files, I'm also running IEP meetings, seeing the kids, helping teachers when they need support as well, families, referring to outside counselors. It's a big job, and it's an important job, and we need to remind ourselves as school counselors and registered clinical counselors and play therapists and psychiatrists, psychologists, pediatricians, educators. We are all working as a team and wrapping around these amazing children, and these children that we're teaching, helping, they've got so much potential. Like, the kids that I see are flipping amazing, and they're going to change the world one day. And if we wrap around them, we're bettering our whole society and future, but also probably making a huge difference in that child's life. Whether they are supported a lot at home and, already have that support and have neurodiversity, or if they're at home and they're not being so supported and school's a safe space for them. It's such an important job that we have. So if you're a school counselor and you're listening to this, or an educator or any of the helpers I just mentioned, like, kudos to you for doing what you do. So mapping out that transition, planning and taking the practical steps towards what you're going to need. So I do a lot of this in my head, keeping current routines. Actually, my physiotherapist, when I was leaving the other day, and I access so many outside professionals like acupuncture, physiotherapist, massage, chiropractor, to help me be a better person for all these lovely children and people in my life. But he said, as I was going out the door, we want to keep things as consistent as possible right now. Don't make a bunch of changes because you're going into a transition, right? So he's a smart guy. He's a young guy. And he knows what he's talking about. So identifying what needs to change. So what do you need to change? Do you need to start going to bed earlier? Do you need to get up earlier? Do you need to turn your phone off an hour or two before bed and avoid touching it in the morning? That's a really good clue, by the way. Really helps with your sleep. And then, do you need to change your diet? Do you need to get more strict with what you're putting in your body? Do you need to stop drinking caffeine, for example, which I've done, I think I mentioned at the beginning. It's so funny because I actually have more energy without it during the day. I do wind down at night. I'm ready for bed early, but that's the point, right? That's the whole point of doing it, is so that I can go to bed, get a good sleep, get up at the crack of dawn, and start all over again. So I'm enjoying that, being off the caffeine. We'll see how it goes when I'm at school and crazy busy, but I think it'll be fine as long as I keep up with my current routines. At the moment, I'm drinking olive mush in the morning, so this is the Oliveda olive mush, which I currently sell. That's one of my businesses. They have tons of internals that I can highly recommend if you're interested. But they help with antioxidants. They help with inflammation. They help with preventing cancer. There's so many amazing things that it does, that they do. There's 4 different, I guess I'm taking 5 different internals right now, because the olive oil, the olive mush, the I-70 is a beauty molecule, the IL-1, which is ORAC, and camu, which is the most potent vitamin C in the world and antioxidant in the world, and then the I-66, which is I believe the I-66 might be the collagen one, so it helps with hair and nails, but also it has hydroxytyrosol in it, and I can't stop sharing about it because it's been an amazing transformation this last month. And I started taking the products early August, maybe around the 7th or so. So not even a full month of taking the products, but I've seen so many cool changes in my skin, hair, a whole mindset, confidence, all the things. Anyways, I'm trailing off a little bit. But yeah, networking with future colleagues. So for example, I'm starting at a new school this year, so I went to the meet and greet to meet everybody and get to know people, feel more comfortable for tomorrow, which is the first day. Taking small steps, so starting with simple, manageable actions, such as changing your routine like we just talked about, driving by that location, maybe testing the drive, see how long it's going to take, although the traffic's really going to pick up tomorrow, so we got to give ourselves more time in the morning. Just getting familiar with your surroundings, though, if you are starting a new job. What kind of food places are in the area, if that's something you're interested in. For me, I've worked at that school about 9 or 10 years ago, so I know, there's a Red Barn close by and stuff if I ever need that, but I do plan on making my lunch as much as possible. I bought myself a bento box. I got it today, for the little nuts and seeds and yogurt and fruit and different. I kind of want to be like a little kid with their organized lunch, but also because I have little portions of things that I want to take. So I love how I love when kids open their big bento box and it's got everything set out and it's healthy, proteins and healthy fats. I love it because that's what we need is the protein and the healthy fats. And we get enough carbs in our diets without even adding those in. But okay, so also embracing the unfamiliar parts, stepping outside of our comfort zones, and being open to new experiences to help expand our perspectives, to learn more things, to grow. Like I started talking about at the beginning, how if we're not growing, we're dying, right? Eddie talks about this in our attitude and the fact that, we're not really living if we're not expanding our minds and learning new things and applying new things and achieving, trying to achieve goals and that kind of stuff. I love his mindset. He's amazing. Practicing self-compassion. So as I mentioned earlier, being kind to ourselves, acknowledging that this adaptation takes time. Often when I see kids, they don't some of them don't want to start school. They're like, I'd rather be at the lake right now, or I want to be on my video games, or some of them are like, oh, I'm so happy to see my friends, and they're happy to be at school the first week. But it takes a couple weeks. It takes 21 days to form a new habit, right? So the first month can be hard for all of us, educators and students, parents, everybody. But we just need to remind ourselves that it is okay, be kind and gentle. Don't expect too much of yourself. Slow down a little bit and accept that you will not be at your usual pace right away. I actually felt like that in the kitchen about an hour ago because I was opening something or yeah, it was the saran wrap, because my last saran wrap got twisted and I couldn't use it. Like, it got so twisted that I lost my patience, because I had tried it many times and it just didn't work for me. So I ended up throwing it out, because I tried that saran wrap roll numerous times. Don't like to waste anything, but that went to waste because it just wouldn't work for me anymore. And I just thought, when I talked to myself in the kitchen, don't rush, because when you rush, you're going to end up getting it twisted again. And I said, just slow down. And I actually said that to myself, slow down. And it might have been my father, because sometimes when I was eating, I eat too fast a lot of the time. And he just told me to better slow down when you're eating. And I know, and I've actually been reminded of that lately, because even though I've been on summer vacation, I've been working my butt off. And sometimes I'm like, Katie, stop. Stand there. I do stand when I eat at home because of my animals. But stop doing 10 million things when you're eating, because there's times where I'm like, I could have choked, and I'm on my own, and I'm like, I don't want to die. So, I'm laughing, but it's not really that funny, because if something happens, what am I supposed to do? But anyways, we need to slow down. And then managing our emotions. So listening to our body's emotional signals, using techniques like journaling to process feelings and to keep negative thoughts from spiraling. I went to the beach first thing this morning with my dog, and that was amazing. Just, putting our feet or legs in the water, which is filled with magnesium, which is one of the most powerful supplements in the world. But when you're in the ocean, that's the most potent way to get it, and the easiest way to get it directly. And if I have sore muscles, going and walking in the ocean, even though it's freezing cold, really helps. So, sometimes we need to reframe our thoughts. We need to practice that self-care. I did a reel on self-care today, because it is so important. As I've mentioned in other podcasts, that is the number one thing we learn in counseling, in the counseling program, because we need it to take care of others. And how they always say that we can't pour from an empty cup, right? So we need to take care of ourselves. So acknowledging our feelings, naming our feelings to tame them. That's a really good one. So I'm angry, realizing you're angry and sitting with it for a minute, maybe even, and then letting it go is really helpful. But naming your feelings is important to be able to tame them, which means acknowledging that you're mad or you're angry or you're sad, and then having that space to feel it, and then getting rid of it somehow, whether it's journaling, dancing, shaking, tapping, whatever it is. I know dogs, they're very smart. They shake off their stress all the time. Sorry, a bee just came onto my arm here. So making sure you catch yourself when you feel like you're burning out, you're falling into negative spirals, or you're focusing on worst case scenario. You want to get rid of that self-talk and, hi hummingbird. Hi baby. It's coming closer. It's a female. And there's 3 of them. All of a sudden. Holy smokes. We have a lot of them around here. So explore other perspectives, focus on potential for growth and opportunity that comes with change. So rather than it's going to be so hard, I don't like this is scary, focus on the fact that opportunity comes with changes, and it's a potential for growth. That's how I look at change, and I actually really like change once in a while. Probably more often than others these days, just because I got so used to it. I was switching schools in the first 5 years, I was in 13 different schools. So I got really used to change, as a counselor. And I think that made me really enjoy it, actually. Like, what's next? What's the next challenge? Who's the next person I get to see? That kind of thing, is cool too. I mean, it's really nice to get to know the kids and the families and schools and admin and your staff, but it's also nice to have a change once in a while. Okay, so this is about my change, but it's also about any type of change. So focusing on the present moment, using mindfulness techniques like deep breathing, meditation, staying grounded when you're overwhelmed, and focusing on what you can do at the moment instead of fixing or fixating on the past or the future. So being mindful actually avoids depression and anxiety, because when we look into the past, it causes depression, and when we focus too much on the future, it causes anxiety. So if we're mindful and we stay in the present moment like dogs do, we're going to be healthier people overall, and that stress is going to be lifted, and we're going to probably receive more success in what we're doing. Practicing self-care, as I mentioned, prioritizing habits that promote our well-being, including getting adequate sleep, eating healthy food, and exercising regularly. And don't neglect those activities that bring you joy and help you relax. So back to the support system, leaning on loved ones when you feel you need, keeping in touch with friends and family who've gone through similar transitions or who you trust. That's important. Trust is so important. Sharing your feelings and concerns can alleviate any loneliness and can also offer new perspectives and objective. Well, friends and family aren't always objective, but because they know you too well. But if you need that objective, I would go to a counselor, because they don't know your whole history and you as a person, and they're trained to be objective when they're listening to you as a professional. Building new connections. If you're moving into a new community or starting a new job, commit to meeting new people and be happy and excited about it. Join a group or participate in a shared activity that can help you build bonds and a new support system. I love meeting new people. I do it all the time. I'm always out walking, talking to people with my dog, but also just making new friends is cool too, because it just is more exciting than sticking with the same thing all the time forever, right? Even though you have I have my safe, close, trusted friends, and then I like to make new ones all the time. So that's me. Everybody's different. Some people like making new friends every day and don't really talk to their old friends, but I like to have a mix for sure. And then seeking professional help. Lastly, making sure that you do seek support from a professional, because like I said a second ago, friends and family can't be objective when they know your whole life and your whole history. So if your anxiety or stress becomes overwhelming, consider speaking with a therapist or a counselor, because they can provide those effective coping strategies and guide you through the process of big changes. So I hope that is helpful today. I am going to do a quick intentions and reflections exercise, because it is kind of like New Year's. September is very much like New Year's. I don't know if you felt that today. It's also September 1st, and it's a Monday. So it's I love today because it's a fresh start, and I love the start of a new month, new goals, what are we going to accomplish, that kind of thing. So let's set our intentions for the school year, since I'm in schools, but you're likely related to someone that's an educator or have kids that are starting school, or you're starting in transition yourself because your kids are leaving for school. Maybe you're becoming an empty nester. Maybe your kids are off to college or university. Maybe they're starting kindergarten. Whatever it is, I'm sure that you can set a goal. So let's just leave it and keep it simple. What is your intention for the year? What is your main goal for this year? So keep it simple. Let's keep it broad right now, and then you can make it more specific if you'd like later. But maybe one word. Let's say one word. I'm doing this very off the cuff, by the way. One word for this school year. I'm gonna think about mine. I think mine's gonna be, my one word is gonna be transformation. That's my word for the school year. Transformation. And my world outside of school too. So school year and world outside of school, if you're an educator. I'm just going to leave it at transformation. I'm already feeling that, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to do some stress less cards. Hopefully you're able to think of a word too. And you might need more time than me because I reflect on things all the time. So I didn't reflect on that until now. But, there's that hummingbird again. There's one that's particularly sticking around. I think that one might be a male though. Okay, so I'm going to pull some stress less cards. This is a little bit of a longer podcast because I'm going to do a numerology pull as well. But hopefully it'll get you ready for back to school, and then I'll do another one in a week or so. So the first card is, notice which of the people in your life boost you and which ones drain you. Allocate your time accordingly. Love that. It's so important to stick with the people that do care about you and want the best for you and support you, rather than letting people drain you. So that's very fitting for what I'm talking about, which usually happens in these podcasts. Okay, the next one, I'm picking these very randomly, by the way. Spend 15 minutes writing a list of everything that's bothering you, then throw the list away. So that also relates to what we've just talked about with the journaling exercises and getting rid of the stresses. And like getting things off your mind before you go to bed, for example, so that you're ready to have a good sleep. And the last one is put together a playlist of songs that make you feel happy and alive. And I'm pretty sure that I got that the other day, so that one's really speaking to me and probably anyone that's listening right now. So I'm going to set those three out and maybe take a picture. And if you listen to this and you want the picture of those three stress less cards, let me know. I can send it to you. All right. Lastly, I'm going to do the card pull. And this is from Michelle Buchanan, numerology deck. So I'm going to ask, what do we need right now? Yesterday I pulled card number 11 about individuality during my live reading, my live on Instagram. Today I'm going to ask, what does the collective need right now? What's happening for us? What do we need going into this week, this transformation, this transition? Now I've got transformation on my head. Okay, I'm going to pick closer to the top today. Not quite the top, but a little bit closer. Let's see what number it is. It could be interesting. I'm going to count the number of cards that I chose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 9. I think that number's been coming up for me lately. But the actual card is 67. Card number is 67, like it was 9th from the top. But the card number is 67, and it's actually physical activity. So that's interesting. I do a lot of it. But maybe I need to switch it up a little bit. Let's see. This card indicates a need for exercise, which reduces stress hormones and releases feel-good endorphins in the brain, creating an overall sense of well-being, self-confidence, and peace. Because you attract what you feel. When you consistently feel good, you invite blessings into your life. Regular physical activity can better your life in a variety of ways. It can enhance your physical and psychological well-being and reduce the risk of obesity and other conditions. When it comes to manifestation, exercise increases the energy flow throughout your body, which helps release toxins and negative emotions. This in turn raises your overall vibration and enhances your connection to Source. In order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life. Cycles that are encouraging you to exercise your body, whether you walk, run, swim, cycle, dance, kickbox, climb stairs, attend Pilates or yoga, or play a sport such as basketball, tennis, or golf. Being physically active will help you feel good about yourself. And the affirmation is, I exercise my body and improve my quality of life. So for me, like I said, it has the number 7 in it, which is cool, but 67 is also a new face product that I'm using that I absolutely love. It melts onto your face, but anyways, that one's a tonic, and I think it really helps with stress levels because it's so rejuvenating and stress, like, feels like a massage kind of. But anyways, I think for me, if physical exercise is coming up, or activity, it's likely to continue weightlifting because I've been weightlifting since the end of June, and it really makes a difference with my hormones, my body structure, of course, my stress levels. I really love weightlifting because I've been doing it since I was 12 years old, but there are times where I stop because with school starting and the needs of my working line dog after school doesn't allow for a lot of extra time for myself when I get home, if that makes sense. Just like people with children, you don't have a lot of time to yourself when you've left them during the day and you're not with them and helping them or stimulating their minds and stuff. Anyways, so it probably is an encouragement to continue that when I can in the evenings when I get home or whatever. Also, I do try and do something on my lunch break, like yoga, stretching, physio exercises. And I did that all last year, and I'm going to continue doing that as much as possible, along with the getting to know my new colleagues. So that is likely a reminder to continue what I'm doing in that regard. But for you, it could mean anything, whether you need to start walking or go play tennis or golf or whatever. If you're listening, this is your reminder to move your body and get that stress out, because that's what they were talking about the most in that little message, was like to get the stress out and get the toxins out of your body, and that is truly what's important. Like, not just being skinny in quotes or fit or, in good shape, but getting the toxins out, getting the stress relief is the more important thing for our overall health. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that this is helpful for somebody today and for many days to come. And sometimes I actually listen to my podcast to remind me of things. I look at the topics and I'm like, okay, I need that today, and I go back and I listen. But if you are listening regularly, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening, and pass it along to a friend, a coworker, someone that might need it. Just copy the link and send it to them. I am on Spotify, Podbean app, Amazon Music, YouTube. I'm not on Apple Podcasts. I can't remember what it's called right now. Anyways, that's the only one I'm not on. but the rest of them I am. So I appreciate your support, and if you want to provide a review, that's helpful too, just to get the podcast out there. I appreciate it. This is episode number 36, and I will see you or hear you, or hopefully I'm the one talking because it's a podcast, but I will be back soon. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Have an amazing, calm, serene rest of your last night of summer, and see you soon.